Johnny Murray here, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, a dream game for so many fans, especially me, of the Assassin's Creed franchise. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've pretty much played all of them, which is like, I can't say that for a lot of franchises, especially with this many entries in the franchise. There are, I think, maybe one, might be like one that I haven't played. I wouldn't even know which one that is because I feel like I've played them all. But nonetheless, if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, you guys know this is a dream game. Even if you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed, you've probably heard online and you've probably talked to people who do love Assassin's Creed that this is the game everybody wants. A Assassin's Creed game based in Japan, feudal Japan, with ninjas, with samurais, all that stuff. And we're finally here, and we're finally getting, Ubisoft is delivering that dream game to us fans. And I'm going to talk about it because there's a lot of things to talk about. Number one, we're going to talk about just what it's about, what my expectations are for it, how hyped I am. We're going to talk about what the gameplay is looking like. We've seen some trailers. We've seen about a bunch of the story. And, of course, we're going to talk about the controversy that this game has brought in due to people that love to complain. And we are going to talk about just what this release means and when we can expect in some things to look forward to. So let's get talking about it. If you guys love gaming, if you guys love Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, third party, anything. If you guys just love video games like I do, consider subscribing. Really do appreciate any kind of support you guys do give me. The channel's been doing really, really well recently, and I have so many more planned videos. I can't wait for you guys to watch. But nonetheless, let's get talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows and my overall thoughts, man. Number one, I just said this is a dream game. I think the fact that we are actually finally getting a Japan game, number one, it's crazy that it's taken this long. But number two, it's just crazy that's even a thing. Because Assassin's Creed in Japan, it just seems like a match made in heaven. Like it really does. Ghost of Tsushima, which is my favorite game of all time, is like the perfect example of why this should be a thing. Ghost of Tsushima is considered to be just a Japanese Assassin's Creed without the Assassin's Creed branding. And honestly, I kind of agree. For somebody who is my favorite game of all time, it kind of is. Like, it pretty much is. Now, I think there are a lot of differences between the two. But Assassin's Creed is a franchise I absolutely love. I have so many games I just absolutely love in that franchise. Some I think that are really good, and some I think are just okay. I don't want to say there's any that are bad, in my opinion. I just don't think there are some that resonate with me as much. But I've really loved the idea of going to Japan, using samurai ninja techniques to, do those stealthy assassinations, to do the parkour, to have the awesome combat, to do that, and using the historical story formula that Assassin's Creed uses. I feel like just would work so perfectly going in Japan. And from what we've seen with the trailers, it looks really exciting. I think having the whole dual protagonist thing that they've set up seems really, really exciting. And I just think the gameplay they've shown has been very, very good. And a lot of the things that they've talked about seem really, really awesome. And so let's go ahead and talk about that. So like I said, this is set in feudal Japan. It's a dream game. And then there are two main protagonists, Naoe and Yasuke. There is basically one character who is a samurai and one character who is a ninja. Now we're gonna go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Let's talk about the controversy, and it does have to do with this. Number one, and pretty much the thing that everyone's complaining about, is Yasuke. Yasuke, they are taking inspiration off of the first Black Samurai, which is like a historical thing. I don't even know the full historical facts. I just know that it's apparently inspired by a historical figure, the first Black Samurai, Yasuke, and basically everyone's complaining pretty much that it's gonna sound terrible, but that's what people are complaining about. The fact that we're gonna have to play as a Black Samurai. Yeah, it sounds as bad as it is. That's what everyone's complaining about. Now, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and only back my opinion, right? I don't really care. But for people who, let's say, maybe have always wanted to play just a normal samurai in Japan, or people who live in Japan and wanted to just maybe play a character like them in Assassin, I can't really back any of their arguments because I'm not in that boat. You know, I don't have their perspective on things. But for me, it's like, as long as you can, in the story, make it make sense, then it is perfectly fine to me. And from what they have said with the story and how these dual protagonists are going to work, then I'm okay with it. You know, they have their inspiration. They have the route that they're taking with the historical fiction, or not even historical non-fiction. They have what they are trying to do. As long as they can execute it in a way that doesn't seem forced, then it's fine with me. And I think that is what really is the deal breaker or selling factor for me. As long as it makes sense. There have been multiple Assassin's Creed. Everybody's complaining, oh, they're not staying 100% historically accurate. Like, Assassin's Creed has taken such a downhill turn. Guys, you tell me what game is 100% historically accurate, because you are not going to be able to find that. Assassin's Creed is a franchise that takes inspiration off of historical events and historical figures and turns it into its own fiction, turns it into its own over-exaggerated stories. That is what Assassin's Creed is. There is no Assassin's Creed where it is 100% historically accurate. It just takes inspiration. And that's what makes Assassin's Creed, and that's exactly what they're doing here. I get it if you wanted a certain thing and you're not getting it. I get it if it's not, if you're just not used to it, if that's not what you thought was going to happen. I can get that. But to me, as long as it serves the story justice and as long as it serves the game justice, then it's fine with me. And we really won't know that until the game comes out. So I think everybody needs to calm their horses and they need to just chill out and enjoy what we're getting, and that is a dream game for so many people. But I digress. So we're going to take a look at the actual things that people should be taking a look at. We're going to look at the visuals. We're going to be looking at the gameplay. We're going to be looking at just the different features and when this game's going to come out and all that stuff. Starting with, I think, the thing that catches everybody eye, the visuals and the aesthetic of the game. Visually, you know, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, when has Assassin's Creed really ever not delivered when it comes to the visual department? And I really can't think of a single time. The only time I can think of is maybe Assassin's Creed Rogue, because that was kind of like a weird spin-off that was releasing next to another Assassin's Creed game literally the same day. They released the exact same day. Assassin's Creed Rogue and Unity, and obviously Unity was the better one, and Rogue was obviously meant to only be on the 360, stuff like that. But even then, it still looked fine. But yeah, visually, I would say it just looks like a better version of Valhalla. I mean, I would say that's where I'm kind of at visually. Looks awesome, and I think with the whole Japan setting, it just looks beautiful. The different environments, the different building structures, everything like that, the different landscapes, horizon views, it just looks like it's going to be super duper beautiful, kind of just like Ghost of Tsushima in a way. But let's take a look at gameplay, because the gameplay is what's really going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to go and say I am not actually the biggest fan of the Odyssey and Valhalla formats. I think they are great games, don't get me wrong, but if I had to choose between Classic or the Valhalla and Odyssey format, I'm easily choosing the Classic. It's just what I resonate with more when it comes to Assassin's Creed. But to me, the gameplay looks like Odyssey, which I do like Odyssey more than Valhalla, so I will say that. It looks like Odyssey mixed with a little bit more of the Classic. So, you know, I think this is a good thing. I do really like what I'm seeing when it comes to the gameplay. Now, the way the dual protagonist works is Naoe is more of the stealthy, fast-paced ninja, whereas you have Yasuke, which is the very action-heavy, very aggressive, tanky character in the game. And I think that's really cool, because you get these two different characters that play completely differently, that are going to be able to choose how you tackle a mission, tackle a certain scenario. Do I want to go in swords blazing, or do I want to go in, super sneaky, take everybody out first? Stuff like that. And I think that is really, really cool. I think having that Odyssey gameplay with a little bit mix of that classic movements and just camera angles, I think could be really, really interesting, being able to choose how you want to tackle the mission. I think the different kind of thing that they're having with the 4 seasons is going to be really interesting. They've already expressed that there's going to be spring, summer, winter, and fall in this game. Meaning, like, in summer, a pond you'll be able to go underwater in a pond to help sneak around. But in winter, that pond will be frozen, so you can't do that. In winter, there will be, like icicles that alert enemies of your location, stuff like that. It just seems like there's going to be a lot of cool different scenarios that the gameplay is going to be able to give you. But overall, we haven't seen much on the parkour, so that is something I'm still really interested in, because the parkour is my favorite part of the Assassin's Creed games. And then, I feel like we've seen a lot of Yasuke and Naoe, but Naoe is definitely seeming like more of the more interesting character to me right now in terms of gameplay. But I would like to see more of them. I'd like to see what the exploration looks like, what the open world is looking like. So there is still a lot that I want to see, but for me, I do think it looks really, really interesting. I can't say I'm overly hyped for this game. Assassin's Creed is kind of a franchise where when I play it, I love it, and it's kind of just that. It's not a franchise I get overly hyped for, because I kind of know what I'm getting when it comes to an Assassin's Creed game. But nonetheless, this game is releasing November 15th, and it is releasing on PS5, Xbox Series, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to finally get a Assassin's Creed game based in Japan, regardless of the controversy, and regardless that it isn't my gameplay format of choice when it comes to Assassin's Creed. I'm still very, very excited, and I will just add, the steelbook of this game looks absolutely fire. But yeah, if you guys are excited, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Assassin's Creed Shadows? Where do you stand on the controversy? I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.